Ray Fittipaldo. He joins us now as he does every Wednesday at 8 a.m. He's brought to you by the Western PA injury attorneys of LGKG, serving as your home team for over 90 years, lgkg.com. Nicholas Harry Callis is a very good producer. We had some technical difficulties, and yet he powered through to get Ray Fittipaldo on the video stream here, our wildly popular YouTube stream. Hello, Ray. How we doing?
Good morning, guys. Great job, Nick. We got it done.
Nick deserves all the praise we can heap on him today. We'll just leave it at that. Ray, we'll start right there with Joey Porter Jr. Seemingly he has regressed, and the Steelers' corners, which were thought of as a strength coming in, suddenly their biggest problem against Cincinnati. Do you think it was a Cincinnati problem, or is there significant cause for concern?
Well, it's always been a Cincinnati problem for Joey, and honestly, those two receivers are very good. That's probably the best tandem or one of the best tandems in the NFL. And I think you finally saw it click because they finally got a quarterback. But Joey's been handsy with other teams. That's not the only team that he's flagged against. So, yeah, he does have to improve. And it's interesting, guys, if you look at that draft class, the third and fourth round picks are actually outperforming the two second round picks. And sometimes that happens, but Joey has a ways to go here before they're going to decide to re-up him and sign him to a second deal. It's a big October, November, December for Joey here.
Ray, do you think that T.J. Watt has been living up to his contract extension?
Listen, Joe was getting the ball out, 2.6 seconds. I don't want to make excuses for TJ, Alex, or Nick in that game, or Cam or Keanu for that reason. I think you guys saw, Keanu Benton beat that guy right off the snap. I mean, he was in the backfield before anything happened. That was really the only time they got to him. I think later in the game, TJ and Cam kind of combined for one, but that was it. So he was getting the ball out quick. Other teams are very aware of him. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's playing up to that contract. I would imagine in Cleveland, where they're, 2-4, and Myles Garrett doesn't have the numbers either, I would imagine they're saying the same thing about Myles Garrett. It's hard. When you make that kind of money, it's hard to live up to the expectations.
Ray Fittipaldo joining us here. He, of course, from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. On the Fan Morning Show, he's on the Fan Hotline presented by Sullivan Super Service, Pittsburgh's trusted plumbing and HVAC provider for over 50 years. Mike Tomlin's explanation and Nick Herbig not playing that much didn't make much sense to me, Ray. He talked about needing to stop the run, and obviously they view Highsmith as the better run stuffer. Well, that doesn't explain why Herbig wasn't on the field when you knew the Bengals had to pass on their final drive. Why no Herbig out there, man?
Well, he said keep watching, and almost I inferred in that answer was okay, my bad. We should have had him out there more. That's basically how I read that answer. So, listen, Nick deserves to be out there. Terrell Austin said last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, that it's up to him to find ways to get him on the football field more. And, obviously that did not happen with as much frequency as people thought here in that Bengals game. So, the Steelers have been on the field a lot. There's really no excuse not to have one of your best pass rushers out there more than 25 snaps per game. So I would imagine that's going to be rectified here this week here against the Packers.
Ray, do you anticipate us seeing Calvin Austin on the field Sunday night?
I do. Calvin Austin was hopeful. Mike said optimistic yesterday. So, yes, I do think Calvin will be back, and, that's going to juggle the targets there. Obviously a huge day for the tight ends against the Bengals. The Packers are a little bit different front from what they've been facing, but still a very good front. So you might see some different personnel packages in there. But, it'll be good to get Austin back. He was a big play for them early in the season, and if they can, get that back into their offense, that'll be a good thing for them for sure.
Ray, I think the Packers' secondary, specifically their corners, might be their weakest spot on defense. They are the best rush defense in the NFL, yet if you're throwing, you're inviting Micah Parsons to ruin things. So it's early for this kind of talk. It's just Wednesday, but how do you think the Steelers' offense will approach this challenge?
Well, the run game has been really good, especially on the right side there. Jaylen Warren is a tough back to corral and tackle. So they're not going to give up on it just because the Green Bay Packers are first in the league. They're going to try to run the football. I think it'll be part of a well-balanced game plan. But listen, if they're running up against a brick wall, they're going to have to make adjustments, and they're going to have to attack their weaknesses. So Arthur Smith is really good at that, guys. I've been really impressed with him so far this year. They're on the verge of being a top 10 scoring offense. They can move the ball a little bit more between the top 20s. But Arthur Smith will tell you, we just haven't had enough plays. And that was one other interesting little nugget from Tomlin yesterday. He kind of downplayed the fact that his defense has been on the field so much. I do think the offense has to possess the ball more. And obviously, I think the defense has to do a better job of getting off on third and fourth downs.
Ray, how much do you think that this game means to Aaron Rodgers? Do you think that he approaches this game as just status quo, hey, we need to get a win underneath our belt after a loss on Thursday night against the Bengals? Or do you think it's deeper than that for Aaron Rodgers against the Packers this weekend?
He does a really good job of compartmentalizing that. He did it against the Jets. I'm sure he'll try to do that against the Packers. That ending in Green Bay wasn't as acrimonious as the one in New York. So there's like a lot of good vibes there still. I mean, you spend 18 years there, obviously the best years of your career there. Yeah, it's going to mean a lot to him. I'm sure he would have liked to have gone out, on his own note and not have Jordan Love there, but that's just the way the ball bounces. Like, the interesting part of this game is he's like coming full circle with the Packers, right? Like, he went through that like from 2005 to 2007 when he was with Brett Favre. He was the guy who was kind of in the background. Then he went through that with Jordan Love, and obviously, they shipped him off to the Jets. So it's really interesting how the NFL works. Aaron is proving that he can still play. He's one of the reasons why that offense has been so good. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll be out to prove it. But obviously, LaFleur and those guys, Jeff Hafley on defense, they're going to be out to, spoil his rematch here.
Ray Fittipaldo with us here on the Fan Morning Show. Ray, Arthur Smith has done a great job with the offense this year. I think that's inarguable. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson gets benched and Sean Payton's taking shots at him yesterday. Justin Fields hasn't been particularly great with the New York Jets, and Woody Johnson's taking shots at him yesterday. Do you think Arthur Smith gets the credit he deserves for getting the most out of some of these quarterbacks? It goes all the way back to Tannehill.
He deserves a ton of credit. I mean, I don't know that there's too many guys. I mean, just look at the track record that Justin Fields had in Chicago with, 3 coordinators in 4 years, I think, or something like that, something very, very close to that. And really the only time that he was like a consistent player was with Arthur Smith. I know that was only 6 games, but he was really he was good in those 6 games. He did what it took for the Steelers to win those football games. Maybe the secret was the Steelers knew exactly what he was. Like, they weren't going to have him, drop back and throw the ball 35 times a game. Maybe these other teams have, a little bit too high expectations just because he's a former first-round pick. So, yeah, unfortunate for Justin. But I don't know about you guys. I was just taken aback by what the owner said, by what Sean Payton said. I mean, these guys just don't know how to handle themselves with class. And I thought it was good that Russ sort of said what he said, and just totally out of line for Woody Johnson and, what he said.
Ray, are you surprised by the performances of George Pickens this year?
I'm not. Dak is a really good quarterback. That team is built around the offense. They got a ton of weapons. So I am not surprised by that. I will say I'm waiting for the moment where something goes bad there. I mean, you don't just – you could turn over a new leaf. Maybe you can get your life straightened out. But I think some of those issues that he faced here eventually will resurface, and they'll likely resurface when he's not happy with his role there. But as of right now, everything's hunky-dory, and, he's out there playing football like the way that I think people thought he would play here. And he did at times, Dorin, but it wasn't consistent because of his off-field issues.
I would say this leads us to an obvious place here. Are the Steelers going to trade for a wide receiver? If so, what are they looking for in terms of archetype? What are they looking for in terms of what are they willing to give up?
Yeah, I mean, they got they got two guys who are pretty similar in Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson. And I've said this going back to the summer. Like, I think if you're going to get anyone, you're going to probably want to get somebody who's more like DK, maybe a bigger body. Obviously, you're not going to replicate that kind of size and speed and what he does, but maybe a bigger body who can go downfield and catch the ball just in the event that DK is injured. So they've been very fortunate. DK has been durable this season. He's been durable throughout his career. But, if they don't make that move, we've seen Arthur's been able to, create it with tight ends. There's enough targets to go around. So if they stay healthy, guys, they might be good, but you do like to have that insurance policy. And we'll see if Omar does anything here in the next 12 days or so.
Ray, if not, do you think that what we saw from Pat Freiermuth was game specific against Cincinnati, who he's always torched? Or do you think we should expect that he's going to get a more consistent diet of footballs coming his way?
Yeah, I think against certain teams, when teams play zone against the Steelers, I think Pat obviously is more effective. I think, when they want to run the ball, that's going to be a Darnell Washington and Spencer Anderson game. That's just where they are right now. I think it goes back to maybe the offensive line not being able to run out of 12 personnel. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes, other people's snaps are in jeopardy because of that. But Pat's still a really good player. We saw that against the Bengals. I think he'll continue to have his games. I just don't know over the course of a 17-game season. Like, I was expecting maybe 800 yards, 6-7 touchdowns. I don't think we're going to see that just because I don't think he's going to be on the field, to warrant targets and touches like that.
Last thing, Ray, is Darius Slay cooked.
Man, that guy from Princeton, it's not good when a guy from the Ivy League is beating you as bad as he did. Yeah. Hey, listen, I played in a league very similar to the Ivy League. So
Ray, a smarty pants.
Yeah, that wasn't good. Is he cooked? I don't know, but Slay couldn't keep up with Chase. Slay had a hard time on their number 3. That's not good. Mike came out and said it yesterday. He was expecting more. So I think the big thing is Joey's got to play better. They all got to play better. If they don't, their entire offseason plan is going to kind of go down the tubes here.
Man, that is disconcerting. Ray, we appreciate your time. Thank you for congratulating us on winning Station of the Year. Got a Marconi Award.
I saw that last night. Mueller tweeted that. Congrats, guys.
Mueller. All right. See you, Ray. Thank you. You're a big part of it. That is Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. That Philip Fione and Mueller, those guys rock in the afternoon.
Was he joking or was he serious?
I don't know what he did there.
I think he was serious.
You got to know his name is Mulsey.